today? How are you today? Excellent. So right in the beginning of our program, couple things that I should say. One of those, my full name is Vitaly Vasilievich Bezrodnov. If somebody wants to repeat, we'll put the VIP chair right here in front for you. The second thing, because we are with the dancers this times, we have some little kind of conflict here. First thing, we don't want to make it too loud for you, because some of you have the hearing aids, and we don't want to make it too quiet for the dancers here on the stage. Did you ever try dance with the whispering music before? So we'll kind of try to synchronize. If you feel you cannot hear me, let me know. If you hear that the music is too loud, just put it something like this. I will see this. I will try to adjust it a little bit because we're controlling everything from this side, from the mixer. So right now, is that sound okay right now? Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very happy and very glad to be here. As you already heard, we made a complete tour around the United States, and when people asking which states, which places you have been, it's actually easier to say the states we weren't for these 6 weeks. We hoped that would be a treat evening for you. We came from Russia and from Georgia. We will talk a little bit about the countries, we'll perform for you, we'll sing, we'll dance for you, we'll play about the instruments, we'll explain about them, we'll get you involved into the show too. So please, stay awake. I will, as you already noticed, I will be an MC and I will be kind of filling up the parts between dances while they're all taking a breath. And I will try to joke a little bit just to keep the atmosphere friendly and fun. But keep in mind, I'm from Russia. Russia is the cold country. Humor is not funny there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to start our program with a traditional Russian dance called Zavalenka. Let's just imagine ourselves how we're starting our evening. Many years ago, not married people around their 1920s will come together at the sunset outside of the village, and they will celebrate the life. They will sing, they will dance, they will play different games. For them, it's an opportunity to have fun, to meet each other, to get introduced to each other, because maybe in the future they're in that age that they will look for their husbands and wives. This is where we're starting our evening, and the name of the dance is Zavalenka. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was a Russian dance. By the way, how is the level of this sound? It's okay, excellent, excellent. So we started to play with the Russian dance called Zavalenka. And right in the beginning here, as a musician, we probably, right in the beginning, should play something fast too. To keep the kind of good rhythm in the program. And we will play something. But right in the beginning, I would like to tell you a little bit about the program. Golden Gates is not the group, it's a project. It started back in 2003 when the support with the Rotary International and with Rotary Children's Fund, the program starts that from different countries like Russia, Georgia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan and others, we have auditioned the talented young people. When they put together the program, they come to the United States and they represent their culture through this kind of programs. So every year we have a different kids, different young people and a different program. It started back in 2003. Twice a year they come here for 5 or 6 weeks, and every time they travel around the United States and perform in live programs for up to 50,000 people. And we're very honored to be back here. We've been here back in 2011 as the Moscow Knights, and I asked the question because how it works that I'm kind of MC for all of these groups. I asked the question, do you guys like the music? You said yes. I said invite us back, and you did. I came here with the Crystal Trio, magnificent group. Do you remember that guys playing glasses? Oh, everybody loves them, and we're very glad we had a chance to come here. Then I asked you if you'd like to have a bigger program with more dancing and the young people here combining with the music and dance. You said yes, and we're happy to come back. So hope you enjoy the music. But right now, let us play something fast, something that will give us a chance to warm up a little bit our fingers and your mind, because by listening to this kind of music, we will ask you, listen carefully, maybe even close your eyes and imagine yourself dancing with this kind of music. How that possible? But if you imagine the cold Russian weather, it will be possible because you need to stay warm. Ladies and gentlemen, the second number in our program will be the Russian dance called Сельская кадриль. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, do you feel pretty comfortable with this kind of music? Is this too fast or it sound fun and energetic? You said fun and energetic? I just have to kind of pinpoint the people who said fun and energetic because somebody later on have to dance with this kind of music. It's a joke number one in today's program, ladies and gentlemen. For the next number, we would like to travel and go to Georgia. Country of Georgia, many years ago, it was independent country. The first king of Georgia was the king with name George, I think. But seriously, to talk about that, that there was a big threat few centuries ago. There was a big threat from Osmanian Empire for Georgia to be destroyed, and Georgia officially applied and became a part of Russian Empire. It stood that way for few centuries. And when Soviets came to power back in Russia, Soviet Union included Georgia as one of the republics. When Soviet Union fell apart, Georgia became an independent country again. For so many years living as part of Russia, many times people think, oh, they probably are so similar because they lived so many years ago. But Russia is that country where people speak over 150 languages, and people from generation to generation in one and another region like to keep their tradition, keep their culture, keep their language back at home. So it happened with Georgia. It's so unique and different. For similarity between Russian culture and Georgian culture is very similar as the similarity between China and Ireland. I will let you listen, look, enjoy, and compare for yourself. We would like to present for you a dance from south of Georgia, from the Black Sea. Name of the dance is Acha Ruli, from southern part of Georgia.
Shenik mari devna khena naida jigvelo ina naida yera blaqi rame avona naida jigvelo ina naida ayna naina naina avona naida jigvelo ina naida ayna naina naina avona naida jigvelo ina naida ay mira savore avona naida jigvelo ina naida savai savle muana naida jigvelo ina naida ayna naina naina avona naida jigvelo ina naida ayna naina naina avona naida jigvelo ina naida.
And ladies and gentlemen, before we continue playing music, we thought maybe it makes sense if we tell you a little bit about music instruments that we're using for playing some music. Just in case that not everybody remember everything what I said last time. Is there anybody who remember the program done by the Moscow Knights here? Okay, because we have to pick somebody who will be telling us about these instruments. Anybody? I guess everybody knew today. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that there's music instruments that people all over the world playing. For playing classical music, playing jazz music and other kind of music. And you, I'm sure, have lots of good musicians play even here on this stage. But any country that you go, you can always find very unique music instruments that will be used to play traditional folk music from that particular country. We are from Russia. So what are the most unique instruments from Russia? Of course, that would be the music instrument that was featured in a very famous movie about Russia called Dr. And that the instrument called balalaika, this triangle instrument with the 3 strings. It came to us from around 14th, 15th century, and it's always been a very simple instrument to play accompaniment for singing and for the dancing. Until classical musicians fell in love with this instrument, took it, brought it back to the school, to the shop, redesigned it, modernized it, improved it, tuned it, created 6 different sizes, started to play classical music. This is where the instrument became super popular. We have the 2 of them. We have the smallest one that called balalaika prima that plays melodies and variations like violin prima. And the most popular technique to play it, it's called бряцание. If we want to play melody, we can pick the strings like pizzicato and double pizzicato. When we want to play soft music like a Laura's theme from Dr. Zhivago or something similar, we can use tremolo. And another instrument that we have with us is the balalaika contrabass, double bass. Same thing, but it's placed like a bass. We keep the instrument for 2 reasons. One of those is because doesn't matter what we play, everybody during the concert looking always on the biggest instrument on the stage. This is what you're doing even today, right? So just take attention. Second thing, we need to bass line to go with. And the third thing, we always have to have, we never know where we end up with our chores, we have to have some kind of self-defense instrument with us. So, and we keep it. It plays the bass, we'll hear it later. What about the instrument that I'm playing on? What's the name of it? Most people will say accordion, but accordions come in different types, different sizes. The first accordions, or at least concept of it, came 4,000 years ago from China, like everything else. But seriously, it's became popular for the last couple 100 years, and people in different countries play in accordions. And some of them come with 1-row buttons, 2-row, 3-row, 4-row. This one is 5 rows, keyboards, buttons, chromatic scale, diatonic scale, major keys, minor keys, bass, chords, free bass system. Mine is universal one that can play any music written for any accordion. And just for an idea, is there anybody who playing or wanted to play an accordion in your life? Okay, but I heard lots of things about accordion in the 1950s here in the United States, and for a little bit I lived in Cleveland. I don't believe that there's just 2 people who considered or took accordion lessons here. Anyway, let me explain how it works. Pretty much how it works. On the right side, my accordion has 5 octaves, 5 rows of buttons and chromatic scale. It has white and black buttons, so like on the piano, sharps and flats. Usually accordion players play melodies and improvisations here on the right side. And bass and chords on the left side. and quite a few extra buttons on the side and on the top. By pushing these buttons I can change the sound. Sometimes it can be that high, be careful. Sometimes that low. So diapason is pretty big. Most of the times people expect this kind of music from accordion players. Doesn't matter where they came from. There's a lots of different kind of music can be played with an accordion, and there's a lots of classical music can be played. Sometimes even sound can be like this. What do you think accordion will be sound like at this time? So there's a lot of different kind of music can be played by these instruments, but most of the times, of course, we play the folk music. And because I see how carefully you're listening the music and counting that you have the concert series is going on here, you're probably very well prepared and educated audience, what I'll assume. And when we have such a good and educated, prepared audience, we usually try to challenge our audience. Do you mind if we'll challenge you a little bit? Okay, so first thing, we have some youngsters people. We have, or maybe one young person here on the first row, young gentleman. We will play the music on the Russian folk instruments, and we will ask you, listen carefully, and we will ask him to figure out where the music came from. This is test for him. For everybody else here, everybody over 50, the challenge is you have to kind of figure out who was the composer who wrote this music. I'll just give you a tip. He was from Russia, and you listen to this music often before Christmas time. And who has to do anything with the music, took the music lessons before, played any music instruments, or especially maybe percussion music instruments in the orchestra or something like that. It's even harder challenge for you. You have to figure out what's the name of the composer, first, middle, last, name, date, time, place, and the reason why it was written. I hope you enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's ask the young gentleman here where the music came from. What do you think? Very good. You're repeating after your grandma, right? Yes, exactly. Nutcracker, ballet Nutcracker, written by the Russian composer Tchaikovsky. He was very known for writing the most beautiful melodies. His thing. Russia is very known for the great composers and musicians because we had a very good music system was in place for last couple hundred years in the tradition of music education. So composers like Glinka, Mussorgsky, Stravinsky, Rimsky-Korsakov, Tchaikovsky, Sviridov, Shostakovich, Rachmaninoff and many others came from Russia. Russia also very known for the deep thinkers, writers and poets like Pushkin, Lermontov, Tolstoy, Turgenev, Nekrasov, and many others. Some of them I'm pretty sure you wrote or reading right now, especially because you have the Russian month, right? So, but we're here not about that. We're here to give you a little taste and a feeling of the tradition and culture from that part of the world. Russia is a very old country. Christianity was introduced there a little over 1,000 years ago, and these songs and dances existed before that time. So let's go back. Let's present for you another dance, pretty old melody called Kamarinskaya. It's kind of dance that people in the marketplace now and many years ago would have. And as Russians, we like to have everything all the way done. If we do something, we do this all the way as much as we can. If we dance until we fall down. If we drink, oops, I shouldn't say anything about that. We have the young gentleman here. But the Russian dance Kamarinsk, it's a place that dance that will be performed in the marketplace. People will dance, will express themselves through the dance. Sometimes crazy people will bring the beer to the party. And sometimes everybody will try to tease the bear, make him dance. Sometimes beer can hurt people, but it doesn't matter. Most people having fun. Sometimes beer can kill somebody. That's a beer. But just take him away. Let other people have some fun. That's a joke number 2, ladies and gentlemen. And we'd like to go to the second dance from Russia called Kamarinsk. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a Russian dance called Kamarinska. And for the next number, we probably should play and sing for you some song, может быть, Katyushu. And you know that people in Russia speak Russian language. It's pretty easy language to learn to read because it has 33 letters, but most of the letters are the same, and you can learn to read in Russian in 15 minutes. Other question that you'll not be able what you're reading about, but every letter in the alphabet will be sound the same as in any word you will put it in. It's like a puzzle that you had right there in the corridor. Just put them together and you read the book, War and Peace, in 15 minutes. Other thing, there's too many rules there. I mean, by going through the school, we starting like probably second or third grade to learn the Russian language and go all the way through the high school and even in the college, even in university, we learn the Russian language, of course. But without, maybe we should play and sing for you something in Russian. One of the most famous songs that stays in the top 10 list for last 80 years. That song that was one of the most popular one in the Russian army. Is anybody who has any kind of relation to the that time, World War II? Oh, it's a strange question here, isn't it? But I have a few friends who actually was involved in that time, and my grandfather was on the Russian side as a soldier when the Americans and Russians meet at the river. So, and that song was played there as well. If you'll translate that song that Russian soldiers did sing and did play, it tells the story about the beautiful girl. She's waiting for her boyfriend or husband when he will come back from war, back home alive. She's singing the song and sending it to him with the words, "Fight for the country, save the country, bring the peace home, and I will wait for you till the end. I will love you to the last days of my life." Name of this song is Katyusha.
Расцветали яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег на крутой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег на крутой. Выходила, песню заводила про степного сизого орла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла. Казачок, уж ты песня, песенка девичья, ты лети за ясным солнцем свет, и бойцу на дальнем пограничье от Катюши передай привет. И бойцу на дальнем пограничье от Катюши передай привет. девушку простую, пусть услышит, как она поет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша бережет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша бережет. Расцветали яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Уходила с берега Катюша, уносила песенку с собой. Уходила с берега Катюша, уносила песенку с собой.
And ladies and gentlemen, it was the song from the World War II. For another number that we would like to do, we would like to go back to Georgia and bring you one of the most known, most popular dance called Mtiruli. It's a Georgian mountain dance. Very rare thing to see because country is actually very small. It's around 5 million people. It's the same amount as many people as in St. Petersburg City live in all Georgia. And Georgia is known through the history known for few things. One of those is a tradition to grow grapes. It's like Napa Valley. And tradition of making great wines for centuries. Georgian wines. If you never tried, you should try one of the most known ones in King Zmarauli, the wine. And another even more known tradition is tradition to say good toasts before drinking their great wine made from great grapes. If you go to Georgia, if you put the footstep in the Georgian house, the owners of the houses probably will run to the homemade wine and bring it to you to try to test it. So you will have to drink it, but before you drink it, you have to listen the toast. Sometimes it can be long. You will hear lots of things about yourself that you never knew. You'll smile, you'll laugh, you can maybe even put the tear down, but when they will drink it, up the glasses and will drink it to your health and to you, those that coming right from the heart, you will feel as the most important person to these people who often you never met before. This is also tradition, it's a culture of Georgia from the heart. And we would like to present this dance as a warrior dance from the mountains. People coming down to the flats to celebrate. Sometimes they will fight, sometimes they will show how brave they are, how strong they are. This is the warrior's dance, and the ladies symbolize the peace. Name of this dance is Mtiruli. And ladies and gentlemen, we started to play a little bit faster music. I noticed that some of you started to move a little bit around. I mean, I just see that you're just looking for the opportunity to dance. Same time, I was warned because it maybe would be difficult to bring somebody and do that Russian dances because first thing we have to make it cold so people want to move fast. The second thing, we cannot bring everybody on the stage who wants to dance. So we brought with us specially designed dance that everybody who's in the audience will be able to repeat and dance this dance with us. Because to be able to learn this dance, you don't have to stand up from your chair. I would say it's a senior citizens dance. I wouldn't ask much, ladies and gentlemen. I would ask just try to repeat everything what we will do and you should be covered. Anybody who doesn't want to repeat with me, it's okay. We will do this later on the stage. So joke number 3, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see if you'll be able to follow me. It's very good, ladies and gentlemen, but you have to do this together with me, not opposite. And the 15 seconds delay wouldn't work here. So let's check again your balance, coordination, and reaction, because it will be a fast dance. Ladies and gentlemen, you said you will follow us. Okay, I think it would be easier to do this with the music, because music makes it a little bit more predictable. Maybe we should ask Olga. She's only 14 years old. She's playing balalaika for quite a few years, and I think she's quite talented, don't you think? We will ask her to come up with some kind of simple Russian folk melody so we can do this dance. Ну-ка, Оля, давай-ка нам что-нибудь русское. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the dance. Were you able to remember everything? Were you able to remember something? Because we're just looking for 1 or 2 volunteers who will be willing to come here, take a couple chairs, and make a competition to the gentleman right here on the first row. Bob. I'm kidding. It's joke number 4. But he was ready. He was ready to give the challenge somebody. But thing is, when we put together the program and we got involved the young people from the different countries, we kind of wanted to achieve few points, few goals. One of those, they travel around the United States, you see the United States. They see the United States. They see how people live, what we believe, what kind of places exist in the United States, and what's a reality about the United States, because there's a lots of propagandas going outside, especially right now. We had so many years, big and heavy wall between our countries called Cold War, and everything what we learned about each other was the newspaper, government propaganda, TV, whatever government wanted us to hear, this is what they will let. This is, I think, very close happening right now. Before we came to the United States, in the beginning, we heard some interesting things about you. We'll not talk about that now, but we're very glad and very happy that that wall fell down. And especially right now, when the relationship between our countries are so tight, I think these kind of programs are so important to keep going, to keep the human friendship connection. And don't let the government and the politicians play around and cheat us and give us a different information. Another important thing in this program is that pretty often the young people who comes here, they come from the countries that are currently in the conflict. Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, you see the news, what's happening, maybe even Syrian group in the future, because maybe their parents sitting on the different sides of the barricades and looking at each other on a different glass. And here, they're able to come here, respect each other, and proudly present and tell the truth to the American people by learning and seeing the true real United States. So we appreciate the invitation, and we are very honored to be your guests here too. Other thing, when we thought what is the best way we can bring the foreign culture and give the experience to the American audience, because we are realizing that so many things floating this way. You hear something from so different countries that coming to the United States, pretty often you hear something from the country you never heard before, and the first song will be sound excellent and different. The second song will be sound just different. The third song, you're asking yourself a question, is this a third song or they're repeating the first song again? We didn't want that to happen. We thought we had the dilemma a little bit and then we fixed it. We think that the best way to understand the different culture, just blend in, be a part of the action, see it and experience it from the inside by being a part of it. So this is what we came out to. We brought with us a couple very simple music instruments. I'll show you how we use them, how we play them. Then we would like to invite a couple volunteers from the audience, so together we can create and make a true folk music, true Russian music, but together. And usually it's pretty fun time on the concert. Is anybody who can give us a good beat on the tambourine? Anybody who has any experience to playing any? No, Lynn, same time. It's not an accordion when you're doing different things in both hands. Excellent. Or maybe something like this, девочки. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I picked the Lynn, and she's very experienced tambourine player. Maybe we should go to the advanced tambourine playing if everybody will help us a little bit with the clapping, will you? Faster, faster! And I know who is going to be our second tambourine player, ladies and gentlemen. And we need a third one because we can make it actually family business here. Come in, come in. It will be fun, don't worry. There'll be few people I'll make fun of. Will be here in the front. Another instrument that will need help with this one, name of this instrument is трещотки. Came from Russian word трещать, make noise. But when it goes in sound with the music, it sounds alright. This is a good instrument for the children and for senior citizens. It's count as an exercise. Anybody who thinks can play this one? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can come in. I'm just waiting. Are there any brave men in the audience? All right. I bet some of the people still familiar with this music instrument, huh? Anybody who wants to make that kind of noise, musical noise? All right, Betsy, it's yours. You can come forward here. We have a couple more music instruments. For this one, we usually pick somebody, the youngest person in the audience, in the cutest one. What would be, I'm not counting the gentleman, he already has the tambourine. What is the youngest and cutest person in the audience today? We just did the concert in the Green Valley, Arizona. It's kind of senior citizens' whole town. We had like over 300 people in the audience, and the youngest and cutest person on this instrument was a little bit over 65. Okay, I guess we need somebody who will just play this instrument. It brings some flavor to the music. Not all the time, but sometimes. Jim, you can, if you can come forward, you can come forward. If you would like to stay there, it's okay too. But I think ladies would like to have you here. And ladies and gentlemen, for this instrument, we need somebody. We need a character. We need somebody who will be able to play this instrument and lead the band. Somebody who has lots of positive energy, good sense of humor, big smile, and no musical talent. Let's see about all these qualities. So, what's your name, sir?
Frank.
Frank is your real name, or you just made it up for the stage?
Just made it up.
Frank. Okay, Frank. Okay, don't rush things. Don't rush. You're too fast. I'll put it in my hands. You just repeat. And I don't think there will be any problems. Just repeat and you should be fine. Close. Close.
Turn them both the other way. Don't get me.
Frank, I hit the spoons once. You already hit it 5 times.
I'm slow. You know, I'm gonna be 85.
I understand, Frank. 85, you cannot do everything, but it's
Can't do
just
any-
it's
I can't
just
do
a spoon.
anything.
So anyway, let's be positive. Let's try it. Sound the same, okay? I think, ladies and gentlemen, we got excellent spoon player, don't you think? Because Frank is so good, we need a couple more musicians to cover him up. Anybody who likes Frank and would like to cover him up? I know the gentleman right here has lots of positive energy, I just feel it. All right. Anybody, ladies, who would like to... Oops. Another instrument we need to help with, because we can take one or two more people to complete our band.
Gene right here would like to come up. Come on, Gene. People watch it too.
Oh, absolutely. The photos that we saw on the display outside, they're just fantastic. We never would expect to see something like this ever, anywhere, but here in North Carolina, Gene. We're very happy to be here. Now you got your instrument.
You didn't hug me.
I don't want. I think Frank, it's pretty dangerous to joke with you. Anybody else, ladies and gentlemen? One more. Anybody has any relations to Russia or Europe?
We're all from Europe.
I know. Jim, okay, come here. So before we play the music, let's do something. I just wanted to make sure everybody using instruments correctly. Then I'll explain about the music. Ну-ка, Оля, дай нам, пожалуйста, музыки, а девочки, подержите микрофон. Excellent, ladies and gentlemen, hold on, it's just a warm-up. Next thing that we're going to do will be serious music. It will be traditional Russian variation called Saratovsky Переборы. It's a few villages around Saratov city in Russia, old cities. Around Saratov city, that is pretty old city. Some of the melodies will go faster, slower, louder and quieter. We'll play them as medley, non-stop. All musicians will have to follow up the music, and Frank will make sure everybody do. He's going to be a main conductor and leader for our band for this piece, Frank. Sometimes in the process of playing, we'll have special times to show up. I will let you know. Boom, it will be very quiet. We will hear the fly flying, and I will say, and right now it's a spoon solo. It will be a little bit longer, Frank. But it will not be longer than 15 minutes that we'll play with you. Another time we'll have another solo. I will say it's трещотки solo. So all wooden instruments, guys, just improvise to make some noise, rhythmical noise. And right in the end, ladies and gentlemen, with everybody clapping and tapping and whistling, we'll have the most excellent jumping, kicking, dancing tambourine solo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some few very brave people who came in front of you to entertain you and have some fun. So please make us feel comfortable on the stage, support us with the clapping and with the music. And Frank, as a leader for the band, I would ask you one more thing. Because we have to start music together, you have to come up with a way to let us know how to start together. Let's say you have to give us a signal so our musicians start music together. Ready? No, Frank. Solo will be later. Right now we need this is how it usually works in the band. First, you make the eye connection with your musicians so they know they're playing with you and you're the conductor. Eye connection, yeah.
This way?
Yep. I mean, this is your group, if you can
my
see.
group.
If you got your glasses, you can see the people in front of you, they're your band.
No,
Then-
I don't want him.
Oh. Just skip one. Second thing, Frank, make sure that everybody playing same song.
Okay.
Then hit the spoons 4 times and count. Раз, два, три, четыре, and everybody will go with you.
What do you say?
Hit the spoons 4 times, count. Раз, два, три, четыре, and we'll go with you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Frank.
stop me.
The Polish band is playing in other community today. We're playing Russian. It goes a little bit faster, maybe like this. 4. Excellent, that's a right one. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a famous French spoon solo. It's a French spoon solo. It's still spoon solo. And now everybody together. We'll start slow and we'll go faster. Everybody help us with clapping. Hey, hey, up, up, hey, 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 hey. It's трещотки соло. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a jumping, kicking tambourine solo. Цыганочку давай слева. And now everybody but faster. Let's make a bow together, guys, as a band, can we? 1, 2, 3. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we just proved that to be able to do something together without being in the same country, we can come up with a common sense and common understanding. This is what we just did. We could do without being speaking everybody English. We could do something together, and we also proved with Frank that even when you're 80, you can do something. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the finale, we usually, when we have such a friendly and good audience and a good atmosphere, we always like to take a couple questions in case if you want to ask any questions, anything related to the program today, to the musicians, to the music, instruments, country, etc., etc. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer a few questions. If you don't have any questions, you'll just make us believe that people in this community already know everything. Yes, sir.
Off season, what do you do?
For the guys, they all came from Russia, Georgia. They go to the school, to the colleges, and this is their winter break. So mostly they take the winter break, travel through the United States. Yes, sir.
Are the tall ladies from Georgia?
Yes, they're told.
All that tall?
I know what you're talking about. I'm actually planning to go to Georgia in May. Business and a pleasure. Would you like to join me for the pleasure part of the trip? To see the Georgia. Huh? How tall? I cannot tell, but you can measure them when they come up after the program. We will be happy to stay here and we'll come there. I don't know where you want to meet the artist. We would love, right there, we would love to make a pictures with you and talk with you. So we'll be happy to see you there. Yes, sir?
Does your staff all speak English?
This is what I just said. Without speaking English, we were able to create some music together. Not everybody. Not everybody speaks English. Actually, for the Georgian guys, because Russians speak Russian. Georgians speak Georgian. Little bit of English, but no Russian. And another thing that you may be interested to hear, when they come from different countries, often not speaking one or another common language, they come from the airplane in New York City where we meet them and they don't know each other. We have 1 or 2 days to put the program together and then travel around the United States for 5-6 weeks. And this dance on the chair, we just learned it right from the beginning. And a few things we have to come up and put together the program. Maybe next time if you invite us, we'll have the young people from different countries with different program. We hope you enjoyed the program and we hope that you consider in the future to bring this young, talented, full of energy people to come and entertain you here. And it's about all questions that we had at this time. Yes, sir.
How long are you on tour?
For around 5-6 weeks every time. Started from New York City. I'm saying just in case if you were sleeping in the past hour. Joke number 5. But we travel all the way by the north to Los Angeles, and by the south we came here. They go to the Washington D.C., to the Russian embassy, to the New York City, and they fly out in a few days. Yes, sir, you have.
What is your background?
That's a good question, but we'll allow just one question per person. Smart man. What's my background? I actually a musician. I went through the whole music education back in Russia. I came to the United States in 1994. I put together the group called Moscow Nights, and this group became pretty successful, pretty popular through the United States. And since 2000, I started to work as an agency as well, bringing different groups by the same route. And in 2003, we got involved in a project with the Rotary Children's Fund, where the young people have the opportunity to come and travel through the United States. I guide them, so I got some experience, and I think I'm not doing too bad as an MC. I mean, just something. Have to keep something in the between to keep things going. Yes, sir.
Is the young lady, since she's only 14, is she related to you?
Interesting question. So I'm 40, she's 13, and she could be. But no. They just every time they come, different musicians, different dancers. They always come. They in the process that they're going through to peak to edition. I'm not involved. I'm here. My responsibility is here to make the connection, put the tour together, and tour with them. And I'm sure that you'll have some more questions, and we'll be happy to meet with you, talk with you, spend some time with you, make pictures. But right now, I think we already went over our time, and we would like to finish our program with one of the most known, most popular Russian song and dance called Kalinka. And if you will demand, we actually can go the encore, but it will be up to you, ladies and gentlemen. For now, we would like to officially finish with the Russian dance that everybody knows and recognize under name Kalinka from Russia. Moskova is from St. Petersburg, Russia, and Georgia this year.
Thank you.